You know what I realised when I was sat in St James's Park watching the new era of Eddie Howe's Newcastle United draw 3-3 with Brentford? Even if we go down, we are in capable hands. The damage we have sustained as a club under Bruce and of course Ashley this season may prove to be terminal. Only time will tell on that front. But there's no doubt that the 11 players who lined up in black and white against Brentford on Saturday felt like a new team. With 52% possession, 23 shots and 3 goals, this felt like a proper football club again. Something to be proud of. It wasn't perfect by any means. Defensively, the issues are alarming and worrying. We have who we have in the squad until January, but, there are still a few things that could work in order to improve that defence. Firstly, the training schedule over the next week or so will surely focus on being more compact without the ball than we saw this week. Also, ensuring that the full-backs or wing-backs aren't overexposed is critical too, as it felt like every time Brentford went wide, there was acres of space for them to exploit. Next, and I've been saying this for a while now, you start with your best goalkeeper. Dubravka simply must be in goal for the next match at Arsenal. Darlow was at fault for their first goal. Tony's shot was good, but for a Premier League keeper, it really should have been a routine stop. But the issues are bigger than that with Darlow. He doesn't command his defenders in front of him, which causes confusion. A goalkeeper should be screaming at his defenders to watch their position or telling them stuff that they might not have seen. It comes down to trust, and I think the players we have more trust in Dubravka. Finally, there's the issue of who the centre-backs are, and if there's a need to switch to 4 at the back as well. I'm beginning to wonder if there's been some sort of falling out with Fernandes, as he wasn't even on the bench again on Saturday, yet most fans would love to see him in the team. Fabian Schär did get a start and played well, but Clark and Lascelles both joined him too. Howe was never going to drop Lascelles as a club captain, and it was good to see him score to give us the lead early on. The own goal was unfortunate. The issue wasn't really Lascelles on that one in my opinion, but the poor defending in the build-up to that goal. There's no doubt at all that Howe and his coaching team had a huge positive impact on the forward side of things though. In just 10 days with the players, quite remarkable actually to see the team that's been so passive look so determined with the ball. There was real purpose and our attack-minded players really did show a lot more than we've seen in years. It must have felt really, really good for them. Some standouts for me were John Joe Shelby, who had his best game at the club in about 3 years. Some of his passing was absolutely superb, and when he has players running into space, then he becomes a far better player because he anticipates those runs, and that's kind of what he's good at picking out. Certainly very promising from him anyway. With Willock alongside him, the central midfield was actually quite attack-minded, and perhaps this caused us some issues defensively. I'd really love to see us bring in a defensive midfield player to play the role of Mo Diarmi or Cheick Tiote that have done that job for us in the past. Someone to break the play up. When you look at Chelsea, for example, who is the only player Tuchel doesn't rotate? Kante, and that's because that defensive midfield position is absolutely crucial for any team. Man of the match for many, of course, was Joe Linton, who had a superb game now. I appreciate it's only one performance, but for weeks now, I've been saying that Joe Linton can do a job for us, and he showed us on Saturday that this is true. Obviously, we now need him to repeat that sort of performance repeatedly. One swallow doesn't make a summer and all that. But you can tell he has loved the coaching since Eddie Howe has come in. And I think Howe just knows how to get the best out of him. And I think Joe Linton's a player who needs that kind of one-to-one man management, and I think he can thrive. He also took his goals superbly. It's just a real shame that he slipped and fell when he potentially could have won us the match at the end. I've seen a lot of people panicking over the fact results went against us on Saturday, but I will stand by what I have said since Howe came in. Let's see where we are after the first 4 matches before we start to panic. The key thing for us at this point isn't being 20th, it's the gap to safety that we need to keep an eye on. Now, as I record this, it is 5 points, the same as before the Brentford match. If Leeds don't lose, it could be 6 or 7 points, which obviously would be disappointing, but here's the thing. There's going to be some weeks where we do win and those teams lose, and that gap will rise and fall over the coming months. It's the regular ebbs and flows of a football season. We really had to be prepared for the fact that we might not beat Brentford, but the good news was we didn't lose either, and that point could turn out to be absolutely massive come the end of the season if Brentford are sucked into the relegation battle too. Our next 2 home matches are obviously crucially important. Winning both of them would be absolutely massive for our chances, and in my opinion we have to win at least one of them now and draw the other one. If we can't beat the teams around us, then not losing to them is almost as important as it keeps them close by. Having seen what happened on Saturday, I am far more confident of how sorting this out and keeping us up. The odds are against us, of course they are, but there's still a lot of football to play. From an attacking point of view, I think we'll score plenty of goals now. We have some good players capable of doing that, and if they're allowed to play with the freedom we saw on Saturday, I think that the question of whether we stay up or go down will come down to one issue. Can Eddie Howe make the team defensively a lot tighter? If he can, we'll go on a run and we'll stay up. If he can't fix that problem, then we may well go down. But if that happens, I have absolute belief that Howe will build a team capable of coming back up out of the Championship at the first attempt. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but we'll see what happens. There's a lot of football to play, and I am confident that we can stay up. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button to spread it to a wider audience, and consider subscribing too if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you really soon for another video.